Now, I would like to invite Ms. Tessa Terpstra, and I hope that I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Dr. Tessa is the MENA Regional Envoy for Water and Energy Security at the Kingdom of the Netherlands. She is based in Amman. She works in building resilience to climate change in the MENA region, focusing mainly on Jordan, Egypt, Palestine, Lebanon, and Iraq. Ms. Tessa today is going to speak about working together. This is another time, now common theme that we need to work together in an integrated manner, working together towards a greener future. Dutch cooperation on climate change and water in the MENA region. Please, Dr. Tessa.
Many thanks, Dr. Mohammed. I would like to share my screen, but I can't. So perhaps some of your team could bring up the slides.
You can share it now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just a minute. All right. Unfortunately, I can't find my slides. So please, could you put them up? Would that be possible?
Yes, I would share it.
Thank you, Amr. Excellent. Okay, I'll start in the meantime. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big honor to be part of the Cairo Water Week 2020 and to make a presentation for you here today. And many, many thanks to the organizers of today's session to actually make this happen in these difficult times and bringing us together virtually to exchange ideas and to reach even better cooperation. And I think it's very true that the previous presenters expressed and emphasized this working together. Okay. So as I was saying, emphasizing the need to work together closely, I think this is indeed key to reach some sort of solution for the challenges that we face. So I'll talk a bit more about this today in my presentation. As Dr. Mohammed was saying, my name is Tessa Terpstra, and I am the first ever regional envoy, MENA regional envoy for water and energy security of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Development Cooperation of the Netherlands. And what does this mean? Well, together with partners and stakeholders from inside and outside the Arab region, I work on building resilience in the MENA region in view of climate change, and we do that together. So I've been living in Amman, Jordan for the past 4 years, focusing mainly, as Dr. Mohammed was saying, on Jordan, Egypt, Palestine, Lebanon, and Iraq. And of course, addressing rising water scarcity is an important part of this work. So I'll tell you a bit more about this in my presentation, but first let's have a quick look at climate change in North Africa and the Middle East. May we have the next slide, please? Yes, that's the one. Thank you. So perhaps you can widen your screen. So I'll continue. Most of us have seen this graph. I think it's relatively known now. It's a graph from the Max Planck Institute of 2016. And it shows the predicted temperature rise in North Africa and the Middle East in a business as usual scenario, meaning that if we do not make any climate mitigation measures and continue with the policies and practice that we see now, what we'll be seeing is by 2050, so this is only 30 years from now, the average temperature in North Africa and the Middle East is predicted to be 2.5 degrees Celsius higher in the winter and 5 in the summer. 5 degrees Celsius higher in the summer, which is the right visual, the red one that you see. Now just imagine, this means that the hottest days now in the region will be the coolest 30 years from now. Just imagine what that world would look like. Next slide, please. Thank you. So rising temperatures lead to rising water scarcity, as we're already seeing in North Africa and the Middle East today. But not only there, even a country rich in water, such as the Netherlands, has had a drought 3 years in a row. And this is the right picture you see. This is taken on the shore of the River Rhine that runs through Germany and the Netherlands just 2 years ago. So we have a common challenge here. Next slide, please. Thank you. Both in Europe and in the Middle East, we share a concern about climate change and the future of our children. This is a common concern. And the effects of climate change play out differently in our separate regions, but the concerns are similar. As the Dutch, we want to share our expertise with our neighbors in the south, in the MENA region, because we think that creating perspectives for sustainable and inclusive economic growth is good for our neighbors and is good for us. When we talk about climate change and natural resources, we talk about water, energy, and food. This is the picture you can see up of the water, energy, food nexus. And water is actually at the heart of this, because water is needed to provide food, water is needed connected to energy. So water is actually at the heart of this nexus. And since water scarcity is rising and water quality is diminishing, more and more energy is needed to produce enough water of good quality to produce enough food. Next slide, please. So what can we do? Well, we can work on sustainable resource management, such as optimizing food production, as we have done in the Netherlands. And I'm just showing you an example of a greenhouse, a glass greenhouse, which is fully mechanized in the Netherlands. And the data we have about this is that instead of using 40 liters to produce 1 kilo of tomatoes, we can produce 14 kilos of tomatoes, with just 1 liter of water. This is possible. Another example of sustainable resource management is recycling water. And in the Netherlands, we have a lot of experience with this, as more than 99%, almost 100% of our water is recycled. The reason why we do this is to not contaminate the environment. So this is, so we treat the water and then we bring it back to the landscape as service water, which then trickles down to groundwater and is then again reused in agriculture. Next slide, please. Thank you. So sustainable resource management requires the right policies. It means working with governments to help them develop new rules and regulations to enable innovation in food production, water recycling, and sustainable energy use. It also means working with private sector to introduce new techniques and technologies. And it means working with universities, research institutes, and vocational training centers to teach farmers, water operators, and students how to develop these new techniques and technologies. And lastly, it means to work with civil society to create awareness of why sustainable resource management is necessary. And this is what we call the Dutch diamond approach, as you can see on the slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. I would like to give you some examples of this Dutch Diamond approach and how we use this to work on water recycling and on more optimizing horticulture. So what we've done as the Netherlands is we've established a regional center of excellence in wastewater treatment and reuse. And the physical site of this center you can see on the picture. This is taken in Verhees, just north of Amman, where the Albalka University has a demonstration site for biological wastewater treatment, small-scale decentralized wastewater treatment, and its reuse in agriculture. Now, the center we've established is with the Albalka University of Jordan, the Dutch Water Institute, IHE Delft, and the World Water Academy in the Netherlands, and the center is called Day3. Now, the project is implemented in coordination with the Jordanian Ministry of Water and Irrigation, and it is a multi-year project that started in January this year, funded by the Dutch government, with an overall budget of close to 1 million euros. The Water Center aims at strengthening education, research and training in wastewater treatment and agricultural reuse of treated wastewater. And the Albalka Applied University has recently established a diploma program for this, focusing on hands-on skills for water professionals. And the center offers online training and field research and demonstration with a number of practical courses. Now, the good thing about the Water Center is that it's, even though it's situated in Jordan, it caters to the needs of the whole region. So water practitioners and researchers from the whole of North Africa and the Middle East are welcome to join the activities of the Watra Center. I'd be happy to take any questions about this later on. Next slide, please. Thank you. This slide is taken in Irbid in a project of optimizing horticulture in a fairly mid-tech way, I should say. So the slide that you saw earlier of the mechanized greenhouse in the Netherlands is very high-tech. And this is more building on the existing practice of plastic greenhouses in Jordan, again in Jordan. So we are in the process of establishing a so-called knowledge and innovation center for agriculture that several Dutch companies are setting up, again in Jordan, together with the National Agriculture Research Center, NARC, and EcoConsult, a Jordanian company. And the Wageningen University, our agriculture university in the Netherlands, is working with us on this as well. And the mission of this Knowledge and Innovation Center is an open and innovative horticultural community where high-level experts generate and share knowledge to develop a strong and locally rooted agricultural sector. So at the center, innovations will be demonstrated, innovations in the food value chain, and opportunities for green horticulture will be developed and strengthened and expanded. There will be education, and partnerships will be forged through the center between the Netherlands, agribusinesses in the region, and international suppliers. The center will focus on the Mashreq and the Gulf. Building will start next month, and cultivation and support activities will start in March 2021. And the results of the Knowledge and Innovation Center will be presented at the Dubai Expo early 2022, as will also be the case for the Wastewater Center of Excellence. Now, I would also like to give you a third and last example. Next slide, please. Thank you. Lastly, we've just launched the Water and Energy for Food Global Challenge. And what you see here is the website of this global challenge. And this is a program to boost and scale mid-level businesses in the field of water and energy efficient food production. So it's a competition for entrepreneurs. And the Water Energy for Food Challenge is funded by the Netherlands, SIDA from Sweden, and USAID with a global budget of 65 million euros. And it's implemented by regional hubs. Now, the MENA hub is run by a consortium of Veritech in Beirut, Chemonics Egypt in Cairo, the International Water Management Institute, who are present with us at this Cairo Water Week, through their regional office in Cairo, and Swiss CWAS with offices in Jordan and the West Bank. And the first call for businesses in the MENA region will be published in 2 weeks' time. So we're very excited. So this will be a competition for entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurs who win this competition will get technical assistance to boost their business and receive a small grant and get access to finance their enterprise. So please stay tuned and follow the website about this call if you're interested. So with this, I would like to end my presentation. I've tried to tell a bit more about how we work together with our partners in the region to help develop more sustainable resource management. I focused a bit more on the private sector, but of course, in our programs, we work very, very closely with government institutions and research centers and civil society in the countries we work in. So thank you very much for this. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those when we have time in this session. Thank you.
Thank you much, Dr. Tessa, for the interesting presentation. I think you emphasized the working together theme of this session as we work together, showing also the Dutch experience in improving or increasing the crop control. The Dutch diamond approach, it's a very interesting approach, and it gathers the stakeholders together, and again, in a working together environment. Thank you very much.